Do you have a song that you've heard in the past that you absolutely find hilarious? I have got a list for you. Throughout the decades, rock musicians have never been afraid to infuse a little humor into the songs that they have written. From tongue-in-cheek innuendo to out-and-out goofs, the history of rock music is full of good jokes. And I wanted to share this with you. This news article puts out 18 of the funniest rock songs in history. And so what I am going to do is read through it and let's see if I agree with this list or not. And if any of these songs that are on the list are something that I actually like. And maybe there's a song that you like. And there might be a song that was not on the list that you think should have been included. So let's get into it. The first song that is mentioned is Mercedes-Benz by Janis Joplin. Written by the legendary late singer Janis Joplin in 1970, Mercedes-Benz is a prayer of sorts with Joplin asking God to bless her with everything from a night on the town to the titular vehicle. And despite its tongue-in-cheek lyrics, it has the morbid distinction of being the last song that Joplin recorded before her death. Oh, that's a bummer. The next song is Gimme 3 Steps by Lynyrd Skynyrd. This swampy 1973 southern rock hit is relatable to anyone who's found themselves in barroom disagreement that they don't quite understand. It's based on a real-life experience involving frontman Ronnie Van Zant, in which he found himself staring down the barrel of a gun after unknowingly dancing with another man's lady. And I have actually heard that song before, and it is an interesting set of lyrics on there. The next song is the cover of a Rolling Stone by Dr. Hook. This Shel Silverstein penned tune is a tongue-in-cheek send-up of Rolling Stone magazine, with the band lamenting that even though they're selling tons of records, they'd never been on the cover. And maybe it's only because the cover of a Rolling Stone song was a hit, but Dr. Hook did end up on the cover eventually. I've heard that song before, and it's interesting. Really? Tribute by Tenacious D. This ridiculous song from Jack Black Helm duo Tenacious D tells the story of a band that has to play the greatest song in the world for a demon lest their souls be eaten, and we know that they survived because of Tribute, which is merely, as the title suggests, a tribute to the rock glory that Tenacious D, allegedly, served up on that fateful night. Oh, that is a hilarious song if you think about it. The next song is Abracadabra by the Steve Miller Band. Okay, so it may not have the explicit humor of other songs on the list, but there's definitely something funny about singing Abracadabra over and over in a song that is absolutely about more X-rated behavior than the typical magic show. Okay, I have to admit I'm not really a fan of that song. I am a fan of Steve Miller. I have seen him in concert before, and if I remember right, I don't think he plays this song at his concert, so that's, I can see why he doesn't really care for that song. The next song is Don't Eat the Yellow Snow by Frank Zappa. Oh gosh, oh my goodness. That is hilarious. I don't think I've ever heard that song before. The lyrics of this weird 1974 Frank Zappa song are a little culturally insensitive all these years later, but Don't Eat Yellow Snow remains solid advice for anyone. Boy, how is that true? Not eating yellow snow. Ugh, you don't want to do that. The Lug Shack by the B-52s? Really? I didn't know that was a humorous song. Let's see what it says. Whether it's frontman Fred Schneider's exaggerated vocals, the kitschy vibe of the music video or those endlessly catchy lyrics, everyone loves Lug Shack, even if singing along does feel a little cheesy. Okay, I don't know if it's really a humor song, but to each their own. The Pina Colada song by Rupert Holmes. Rupert Holmes mines the personal ads for lyrics to the Pina Colada song, in which a woman who loves pina coladas but isn't a huge fan of yoga seeks to find the love of her life. And even though it involves the protagonist dumping his girlfriend for his new flame, this song actually does have a happy ending. Now, I have actually heard about this song. Now, it's on, if you go to the Professor of Rock's page, he talks about the Pina Colada song, so it's an interesting story. Oh gosh. Oh my word. Oh, I don't even know if I want to read this, man. Short People by Randy Newman. If the lyrics to this 1977 song sound a little harsh toward the vertically challenged among us, that's because Short People is intended to be a statement about how ridiculous any type of prejudice or bigotry really is. But it's still funny to think about short people menacing the world with their grubby little fingers and their dirty little minds. Okay. I hated this song because of being short. I just hated it. And because of that, I just resented this song. And it's like people would constantly tease me, the kids who were taller than me, whether there was a boy or a girl. And one of my good so-called friends would always go, short people got no reason to live. Oh, I just wanted to punch his lights out. And hey, I could reach him if I wanted to. The next song is Stacys Mom by Fountains of Wayne. This early 2000 single was a major success thanks to the inherent awkwardness of its subject matter. There's nothing more cringe than being a teen who's crushing on your friend's mom, and the music video for Stacys Mom really drives home the comedic effect. I actually like this song. I mean, but when you listen to the lyrics to it, it's hilarious. And I actually enjoyed this song. So it is hilarious, but it's a nice, catchy song for modern rock, if you want to call it that. Oh yeah. Fat Bottom Girls by Queen. Whether it's Freddie Mercury's characteristic strut or the idea of belting out the lyrics like Left Alone with Big Fat Fanny, she was such a naughty nanny, Fat Bottom Girls is great for simultaneously rocking out while laughing. And I love this song. This is one of my favorite songs from Queen. I love it. I just love the simple lyrics to it, the simple riff to it. It's just so great. I love this song. It's one of my favorite Queen songs out there. And there's a lot of Queen songs that I'm a fan of. This is at the top of the list. Next up is Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett. Even though he's in a tropical paradise, Jimmy Buffett is really going through it in Margaritaville. He's lost his shaker of salt, blown out his flip-flop, stepped on a pop-top, and the only cure is a potent batch of margaritas. Who among us hasn't really felt exactly the same way? Hey, I kind of agree with that. It's a cheesy song, but hey, I enjoy it. I mean, who doesn't like this song? I mean, it's kind of cheesy, but it's a catchy tune, and it makes you feel good. Next up is Whip It by Devo. The lyrics for this 1980 new wave fave are total nonsense, and the band is wearing a ridiculous hat in its music video. And sonically, Whip It sounds just like one big joke. It is, apparently on a satirical take on relentless optimism, but it mostly sounds like a silly 80s hit all these years later. And if I'm being honest, I really like this song. It's a good song. I enjoyed it back when I was in middle school. It's when it came out. And we'd always say, go for it, move ahead, as to what it says in the lyrics. So, it's great. Next up is Tequila by the Champs. With its jazzy mambo beat and very sparse lyrics, Tequila has been played for laughs in everything from Pee-wee's Big Adventure to The Simpsons. It always feels especially funny after a few shots of its namesake beverage too. Okay? I mean, all it is a musical, and all they do say is tequila. And I do remember the song being played in the Sandlot when the boys were on the carnival ride and they got sick from putting in tobacco in their mouths. It was a hilarious scene, one of the funniest scenes in the Sandlot. Next song is Inagata Deita by Iron Butterfly. Really, the funniest thing about this song is its title. Inagata Deita was supposed to be in the Garden of Eden, but frontman Doug Engel was so drunk that he relayed its title. It was transcribed in a way that somehow actually fits an absurd 17-minute rock song. And yeah, it is one of the longest songs out there in the history of rock music. And if you're a Simpsons fan, who could ever forget when they played In the Garden of Eden during the church service? In the Garden of Eden, baby. Next up is Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon. Even if the "Au" refrain doesn't give you a laugh, the absurdity of the idea that there's a werewolf prowling around London and drinking pina coladas at Trader Vic's after attacking old ladies is funny enough on its own. And yeah, it is a hilarious song. I really like that. And it was interesting that Kid Rock put this song and Sweet Home Alabama and combined that into his All Summer Long. So shout out to Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon. Next up is Pretty Fly for a White Guy by the Offspring. It's easy to laugh at the protagonist of this 1998 alt-rock hit because it's a complete loser and a total poser. And underneath its global vibe, Pretty Fly for a White Guy is a scathing send-up of anyone who seeks to appropriate hip-hop culture without actually understanding it. And I don't know, never really was into this song personally. I do like the Offspring. I like some of their songs like Gone Away and Self-Esteem. Songs like that I just really do enjoy. They are a good group. And finally, you've got 1985 by Bowling for Soup. Originally recorded by the indie band SR-71, Texas pop punkers Bowling for Soup scored a massive hit with 1985, which centers around a woman stuck in the 80s and trying to relive her glory days while stuck in the boring suburbs. And if you've ever seen that music video, they do a lot of 1980s flashbacks. It's actually a cool video, and the song's decent itself. It's something I really not into, but to each their own. So that was the list of the 18 of the funniest songs in rock music. Now, I'm going to go through which ones are my favorites, and there are a couple that I just absolutely hated. And there's major reasons why. But the two ones that I just hated was Short People by Randy Newman, for obvious reasons. And then the other one was Inagata Deita. It just does not move me. And even though it has some funny lyrics into it, it just never was interesting to me. And I think the fact of the matter is that it's such a long song. But there were like 5 songs on that list that I absolutely love. The first one is by Lynyrd Skynyrd, Gimme 3 Steps. And even though it's a humorous song, it's a real life experience of former and late frontman of Lynyrd Skynyrd, Ronnie Van Zant. The next song I loved on there was Tribute, and that video is hilarious if you've ever watched it. The next song that I like on that is Whip It by Devo, and that is a great song, and it has a catchy beat, and it was one of those songs that I actually enjoyed when it first came out. Next song is Stacys Mom, and I really liked it. If you've watched the video, it's got former supermodel Rachel Hunter portraying as the mother of the title character, and the kid in the video is just fantasizing about her. It is hilarious. And then finally, my favorite of this list is none other than Queen. Fat Bottom Girls. Like I said earlier, I love the lyrics to this. I love the easy riff to this, and it's just one of those catchy songs. It's one of my favorite Queen songs out there. And so, interesting list. So let me ask you, what's your favorite song on this list? Or do you have a song that's hilarious that was not on this list? So please, let me know down in the comments. And thank you for watching.